What's going on, guys? JSGC here, back again for another Manchester City video, where today we're going to be doing a Manchester City transfer update. Before I do crack on with this video, make sure, like always, if you are enjoying the content, do subscribe to my channel. It is free to subscribe now, less than 8,000 subscribers away from my goal of 50,000 subscribers. So any help towards that would be much appreciated. I'm going to be doing daily Manchester City transfer updates from June 1st throughout the whole summer transfer window here on YouTube. It's going to be a busy one, so do make sure you do subscribe to stay up to date. As I said, it is free to subscribe. Social media links are in the description if you want to go and follow me on my Twitter, Instagram and TikTok. Email also in the description too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships or any videos or any general business inquiries. Do leave a thumbs up. 300 likes is the aim. Smashed it on the last transfer update, so any help towards that would be great. Hopefully we can hit it on this update as well. And also don't forget to let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Finally, I want to say a big thank you to Kitbag, today's video sponsor, where you guys can go and check out all of the Manchester City shirts for the 2024-2025 season, which are all available in numerous sizes for less than £40. Links and details there in the description, and a big thank you to Kitbag for sponsoring it today's transfer update. So we've got no contract news. We're going to dive straight on in with the out, and we've got the very latest on Claudio Echeverri. Now, Corriere, Dello, Sera over in Italy have said that Claudio has been spotted in Rome during the international break, and he's held a meeting and had dinner with officials at Lazio, and Lazio are keen to make a loan offer for Claudio this summer. Now, I did suspect that it was going to be a loan for Claudio, because it's either going to be that or it's going to be him being around the City first team squad and him basically being a bit of a part player at the current Manchester City first team squad. And it can be a bit difficult to be able to differentiate young players that come from South America when they've got no European football experience. Sometimes you can chuck them in at the deep end and you end up with the likes of Julian Alvarez, and it really worked, which is what I was hoping for here with Claudio Echeverri, and hopefully we'll see some of him showing his capabilities at Manchester City before the season is out. But sometimes you can end up with the likes of Perone, who did spend some time around the first team squad, didn't get that many minutes, headed out on loan, and I'm not entirely sure we're going to see him around the City first team squad again. Sometimes you can end up with the likes of Keiki, who you end up stuck in the loan rut and it just doesn't really work out. So quite difficult, and City looking down the loan route, which I know some of you guys are going to be very disappointed with. I like to try and be optimistic. If he does end up at Lazio and does very well, then within the next 12 months, you'll see him around the City first team squad. Still very young, still a teenager, still lots to prove, so we'll see what does happen. Anyway, moving on, we've got the latest on Kyle Walker, and Tuttosport over in Italy have said that AC Milan have made contact with Kyle Walker's agent to try and make that move permanent this summer, of course on loan there from the January transfer window, with AC Milan having an option to buy for €5 million. Apparently AC Milan want to try and negotiate that price, and I can see Manchester City, to be honest, happy for Kyle Walker to be off the wage budget, to be honest, and Manchester City probably negotiating that price down and accepting a smaller fee. I wouldn't even rule out Manchester City letting Kyle Walker leave for no fee, as long as it means he's off the wage budget. So we will have to wait and see. Now, moving on to the final transfer of the out, we've got the latest on Bernardo Silva, and the Mirror said that Bernardo Silva isn't going to be seeking an exit from Manchester City this summer. He's happy and he wants to stay. He doesn't want to sign a new contract at the club. He wants to see out the remainder of his Manchester City contract, with his contract up in June of 2026. So it does mean he'll be into the final year of his Manchester City contract this summer, and by next summer, Bernardo Silva wanting to leave the club for free and fulfilling his Manchester City contract, which of course is his right. Now, moving on to the ins, new name Roony Bardghji. I hope I've said his name correctly. He plays for FC Copenhagen. He's a 19-year-old forward from Kuwait. He's represented Sweden at youth level. Manchester City interested in trying to add Bardghji to their Manchester City squad. Of course, playing for FC Copenhagen, it does mean potentially that a fee would have to be negotiated. It's a bit sceptical about the details, with some details suggesting that his contract is up in the summer and Man City may be able to bring him in for free. And as he's playing outside of England, Manchester City would be able to start them negotiations now and get a pre-contract agreement in place if his contract is up. As I said, the details are a little sketchy, to say the least, so I'm taking it with a pinch of salt right now until we have maybe more clarification put onto this story. But of course, Manchester City being linked with another high-quality player. Now, moving on, we've got the latest on another new name, Tyler Dibling. Now, Florian Plettenberg have said that Manchester City and Tottenham Hotspur are interested in the Southampton 19-year-old English midfielder. He says that Manchester City are the team that are most interested in signing him, with Spurs also being linked. Manchester United were being linked in the January transfer window, and RB Leipzig from Germany also keeping track. Now, the Daily Mail have said that Southampton have put a whopping £100 million asking price on his head. His contract's up in 2 years. He's got an extra year on his deal until 2026 with the option of another year. So he's got 1 year left on his contract, maybe two. More than likely, his club Southampton will be relegated from the Premier League this season. So for a Championship player for next season, no team's going to be paying £100 million for a player who's got 2 years left on his contract. I don't care if he's got Premier League tax and English tax, it's just not going to happen. And if I'm being honest, £30 to £40 million sounds more realistic than £100 million. I think this is just Southampton just trying to put teams off making a move, or them trying to highball and trying to get a really good offer. But yeah, again, as I said before, we'll take things with a pinch of salt. Now, moving on to goalkeepers. We've got the very latest on Vanja Milinkovic-Savic. Not been linked with him for a while, but he's back in the headlines. He was linked with a move to Manchester City last summer. Manchester City now apparently wanting to step up their interest in Milinkovic-Savic. Now, Ederson being linked with the exit door at Manchester City. Manchester City could be looking for a new first choice goalkeeper. And Tuttosport in Italy are saying that Manchester City interested in adding Milinkovic-Savic to replace Ederson should he leave. Now, Milinkovic is a 28-year-old Serbian goalkeeper, plays for Torino. Torino would be willing to sell this summer for a concrete good offer. He's made 28 appearances in Serie A so far this season, conceding 31 times with 9 clean sheets. He does stand, and get this, at a whopping massive 6 foot 7.5 inches. Napoli also keen. Torino wanting around €30 million for him this season. And for me, if Stefan Ortega-Moreno decides to leave Manchester City, I think Milinkovic-Savic would be an excellent signing as a number 2 trying to compete for the number 1 spot, rather than him replacing Ederson and being Manchester City's new number 1. But that's just me. Would love to know your thoughts of that, guys, in the comments below. I'm moving on to the penultimate transfer of this update, and we've got the latest on Jarrad Branthwaite. Now, Sky Sports News have said that Branthwaite is assessing his options this summer at Everton. He was recently left out of the England senior squad, and he may feel like with the summer after, so the summer of 2026 being a World Cup year, he's feeling like now would be a really good time for him to leave Everton to seek a move to one of the top Premier League clubs. Now, Liverpool have been linked, and I don't see Everton selling to him. Tottenham Hotspur have been linked, and right now, can we truthfully say that Tottenham Hotspur is much of a step up for Branthwaite than what Everton is? Is he more likely to go to the World Cup playing for Spurs than what he is playing for Everton? Manchester United have also been linked, and I can maybe see Branthwaite ending up there. Again, though, there's no real guarantees about him getting into the England setup. And Manchester City have also been linked, and you would imagine that Manchester City will be competing for the Premier League title next season. They will be looking to try and overhaul some of their squad this summer. They'll be looking to try and transition and bring in younger, more youthful players who are going to provide more competitive quality competition for the first team squad, whilst also bringing the average age of their team down. And Branthwaite does do that. 22-year-old centre-back, plays for Everton. No doubt Everton are going to want a big fee to make this transfer happen, and I would imagine that any move that would be made would need Branthwaite to push for that move and say, let's say City want to make their move, it would need Branthwaite to say to Everton, I want to leave, I don't want to join anybody else but Manchester City. That is what it would take to make this transfer happen. And for me, I look at Branthwaite and I think to myself, in 2 to 3 years' time, he would be the perfect replacement long-term for John Stones. Physically a very tall player. He's excellent with his ball distribution. I can see him potentially pivoting it more into midfield rather than just playing as a centre-back. And to me, I think he would flourish under Pep Guardiola. He reminds me a lot of John Stones when he was of a similar age. And with him playing for Everton as well, you get them John Stones links there. And I think for a good price, if it could be negotiated, I think Manchester City should be all over that. Now, I'm not saying that defenders are going to be high up on Manchester City's agenda, but I do look towards Man City's defence, and I'm thinking to myself, John Stones is injury prone. Nathan Ake also quite injury prone. Manuel Akanji's getting no younger. And we will at some point need to try and refresh up our defence. We've already started that with Husanov and Hayes being brought in. And to me, Branthwaite would be a really good addition. He's homegrown as well. Would probably require a really big fee. There'll be plenty of competition for his place. But to me, Branthwaite, if he does want to leave Everton and he's seeking a transfer, I think Manchester City should be all over that, if I'm being completely honest, or certainly doing everything they can to try and make that transfer happen. But I'd love to know your thoughts of that, guys. I found that transfer link really interesting, and I think it's one for me to keep my eyes and ears open for. Anyway, let's speak about the final transfer. We've got a quick update on Florian Wirtz and a big update as well. And Florian Plettenberg have said that Manchester City and Bayern Munich want the 21-year-old German attacking midfielder this summer, but he is set to sign his new contract at Bayer Leverkusen. It will keep him there until 2028, but it will see a release clause set in the summer of 2026, with that release clause set at around 120 to 130 million euros. So we're looking at just over 100 million pounds plus bonuses, which I am expecting that contract to be signed. Once he does sign that contract, I'm going to go as far to say that rules out Florian Wirtz leaving this summer, more than likely rules out Bayern Munich and Manchester City making that transfer happen, certainly for the next 12 months. We know Real Madrid are keen. They're more keen to make it happen next summer rather than this. And for Man City to bring in Florian Wirtz, I feel like it'd need Wirtz to say, I'm not signing that new deal and I want to leave this summer, which I don't think is going to happen. So it might be time for Man City to start looking at contingencies. I'd love to know your thoughts of that as well, guys, in the comments below. So there we go. That has been today's transfer update. If you did enjoy this video, do leave a thumbs up. We're aiming for 300 likes. Any help towards that would be much appreciated. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new around here. Press that red button, press the bell, and put your push notifications on. Also, don't forget social media links there in the description if you want to go and follow me on my Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Email also in the description too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos or any general business inquiries. Don't forget to get your thoughts in the comments below, and a big thank you to Kitbag, today's video sponsor, where you guys can go and check out the Manchester City jerseys available for this season, less than £40, plenty of availability. Do go and check it out. Links and details there in the description. And a big thank you to Kitbag for sponsoring this video, and I'll see you all again real soon for the next Manchester City video. So I've been JSGC. Thank you everyone for watching. Hope everyone is safe and well. Peace. Ciao for now.